Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Okay, and here we go. Now, as I said I was gonna do, now here I am to now give my thoughts on the new Flash movie. Yeah. So as usual, this is going to contain some spoilers for the movie. So yeah, so you may not want to watch this video until you have actually seen the movie. Yeah. So yeah. So like I said, I did go see this movie last night. Yeah, this is what me and my brother did for our dad for Father's Day yesterday. We took him to see this movie. Yeah, yeah, and I gotta say, yeah, I actually did really like this movie. This really was like a really good to great film. Yeah, of course, Ezra Miller's Flash really hasn't been very loved in this DC extended universe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just been like a very wasted and very just like, yeah, his performance really hasn't been very good, his portrayal. So yeah, and of course, like with what is going on with Ezra Miller in real life, that has also kind of like given this version of Flash a lot of backlash. Yeah, and with like what has been going on with Ezra Miller as of late, like due to that, like there has been like some backlash regarding the release of this movie. So yeah, so people really like were like have felt like very passionate, I guess I should say, about Ezra Miller's Flash. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm sure that this film some people were looking forward to it and others weren't. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, they really did manage to give us a really awesome movie here. I really did enjoy watching this. Like, yeah, this really was just like what this movie really did do with its premise. They really did do like a really good to great job with this, and yeah, really did enjoy this movie a lot. Yeah. So yeah. So the premise for this movie was that apparently Barry Allen is trying to travel back in time to stop his mother from dying. Yeah. Because yeah, this movie like establishes how his mother like died when he was a child, and his father has apparently been like uh, blamed for it, and he's been imprisoned for it for many years now. So yeah, so as a result of this, Barry wants to really stop his mother from dying. So he ends up traveling back in time to stop it from happening. But when he does, it ends up having some pretty bad consequences as far as the rest of the world goes. So and like I said, what this movie does do with its premise, they really do a really good job with it. Like Ezra Miller really does do a really good in this movie as Flash. Yeah, after how wasted he really was, especially in the Justice League movie, it is good to finally see him really get a film where he can truly shine as the character. Yeah, and he really did do a really good job in this film. Yeah, really did enjoy watching him in this movie. Yeah, and yeah, yeah. And in this film, of course, it does have other cast members in the film as well. Of course, you do have a Ben Affleck, of course, reprising the role of Batman for this film, and yeah, and Gal Gadot also does appear in the beginning as Wonder Woman. Yeah. Yeah, and this film also does have other cast members such as it has um uh, Maribel Verdue, Kiersey Clemens, Ron Livingston, and Auntie Trell, I think that's how it's said. Yeah, and of course, in this film, you also do have Michael Shannon returning as Zod from Man of Steel. Yeah, he reprises his role of Zod in this film. Yeah, and of course, the big one, this film also does have the return of Michael Keaton as Batman, and it was just so freaking great to see Michael Keaton back as Batman. Like many others have said, Michael Keaton really is the best Batman in film. So yeah, and seeing him return to the role after so many years was such an awesome thing to see. And yeah, it was just really great to see him don on the Batman suit again, and he even did have the style of the his like old Batman suit from the two Tim Burton films, yeah, and it really just did have like a whole bunch of like of the Easter eggs from the Tim Burton films with him as Batman. So yeah, so it really was just like so awesome to see Michael Keaton back as Batman in the film. Yeah, and with this film like really having like a multiverse concept, it also does have like some other Easter eggs in the film as well. So yeah, so that really was like a really cool to see. Yeah, and just like as a whole, this really was just like a really good to great film, and I really did enjoy watching it. Like I really did like what this film really did with its premise. Like I don't know if like DC was really like inspired by Marvel to have like a multiverse to there's a concept for this film, because yeah, that is like what the film really like does do. It really does like have the concept of the multiverse in the film. Yeah, so I don't know if like they were inspired by Marvel after like what they've done with the multiverse, like with Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness and those other films that like have to do with multiverse stuff. Yeah, so I don't know if like a Marvel did inspire DC to do that with this film. Yeah, but regardless of what whether or not they did, yeah, DC really did do like a really great with it, and yeah, and they really did give us a really good to great movie here. Yeah, and I really did enjoy it. I would say this was definitely be in DC's top 5 films so far, maybe even top 3 films. Yeah, just I don't know if I could go so far to say top 3, but yeah, it is definitely in the top 5. Really did enjoy this film a lot. So yeah, so, so yeah, just what else can I really say? Just yeah, this really was just a really good to great film, and I think that this film really did like surpass a lot of people's expectations. I'm sure like there were a lot of people that really were thinking that this film really wasn't going to do too great, because a lot of people haven't really liked Ezra Miller as the Flash, but yeah, DC really did deliver, and they gave us like a really awesome movie here. Yeah. So I guess I'll just talk a little bit about the premise of the film. Yeah. So yeah, so as the film starts, like it really did like start off pretty cool. Like it started off like showing us like the Warner Brothers logo, and it showed like the various Warner Brothers logos that have been like used over the years, and even showed it also showed like the various like DC logos that have been used over the years. So yeah, so that was pretty cool, kind of like giving us like an indication that this film was like a follow like a multiverse concept. Yeah, so that was like pretty cool to see this movie start off with that. Yeah, yeah, and it shows how like Barry Allen is like really like struggling between like being the Flash and like handling like his personal life and his actual work. Yeah, and it shows like how the movie is like starting, showing how like he like Bruce is like asking him to help stop a robbery from a terrorist group in Gotham. Yeah, and it shows how like apparently like his power runs on like his energy from like food and stuff, and it shows him like saving like a group of babies that are like being that fall out of the window of a collapsing hospital, but he's able to save them. Yeah. Then it shows how like he was able to help Batman and Wonder Woman stop a robbery from Al Falcone's terrorist group in Gotham. Yeah, and like I said, like it has Ben Affleck, of course, like reprising his role as Batman, and yeah, and Gal Gadot like as Wonder Woman. So yeah, so I guess like just some Easter eggs for the fans of the DC extended universe to have them appear on the film like that. Yeah, and like I said, it shows how like Barry's dad Henry has been like in prison for like being accused of murdering Barry's mother when Barry was a child. Yeah. Then as Barry like just revisited his childhood home, he then like decided that he wanted to like try to stop his mother from dying, and it was like shown how like apparently like the way that like Barry's mother died and his father got framed for it was because like she forgot like a can of tomatoes at the grocery store while she was shopping. So his dad went out to get them. So then Barry like tried to like make it so like she didn't forget the tomatoes, that and that would stop her from dying. So yeah, so he using like his like just how fast he was, like using his super speed. He traveled back in time despite warnings from Bruce that time travel can have some very bad consequences, and he even advised Barry to just leave it as is because some stuff isn't meant to be changed. Barry ended up going back in time to stop his mother from forgetting the tomatoes. Yeah, yeah. Then it showed how like with Barry making sure his mother didn't forget the tomatoes. It showed then how she then did live and stuff, and she was still alive. Yeah. Then as a Barry a time traveled further in time, it showed how his mother was alive, but it showed that this ended up actually being the day that Barry actually did get his powers as the Flash. Yeah, yeah, and it showed there was a younger Barry there as well. Yeah, 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 and it showed how the younger version of Barry, with the longer hair and stuff, he was really more just very enthusiastic and excited about it, about stuff. Yeah, and he Barry even informed his younger self about how he has powers and stuff, and the younger Barry was just very excited and enthusiastic about it. Yeah. Then yeah, then a Barry then realized that this was actually the day he actually did get his powers. So then he ended up bringing his younger self to like uh, like the Central City Police Department, where the way that Barry actually did get his powers was he ended up getting struck by lightning with some chemicals that were coming at him, and that actually gave him his super speed powers and stuff. So then yeah, then he brought his younger self to the police department and put him in the exact same position, and then yeah, got him in the accident with the lightning striking him. But yeah, the Barry actually was in the way of the lightning strike as well. So both of them ended up getting struck, and it showed how younger Barry did get the powers as Flash, but it was then revealed that because Barry ended up getting struck by lightning as well, somehow it ended up taking away his powers. So yeah, so Barry didn't have the powers anymore, but his younger self did. Yeah. So as a result of this, Barry then pretty much loaned his Flash suit to his younger self to learn how to use the powers and stuff. Yeah. But then yeah, then it was revealed how they then saw how Zod was preparing to invade Earth, and yeah, and like I said, it still is Michael Shannon who played Zod in Man of Steel, reprising his role in this film. Yeah, yeah, then yeah, then as Barry tried to get the Justice League together to stop Zod. Barry then learned how the Justice League didn't actually exist. It was shown how he learned how because of what he did, a whole bunch of stuff was changed by him going back in time, and so much stuff had been altered, and it was basically a whole different world. Yeah, whereas he learned how uh, Victor hadn't been in his accident yet and had not actually been cyborg. There was no Diana, no Wonder Woman. Uh, Arthur was never born, so there's no Aquaman. Yeah, but yeah, Barry then eventually did learn how their Batman was still around. So then the two Barrys ended up traveling to Wayne Manor to find him. Yeah, and as they went to Wayne Manor, I said, it had just it it had the stuff that was we saw in the two Tim Burton films, the dining room and his collection of swords and stuff. So yeah, so they really did a good job of recreating Wayne Manor from the two Tim Burton Batman films. Yeah. Then they eventually did come across Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, and it showed how he he was now old, had longer hair and a beard and stuff, and which it was explaining how he was no longer Batman and was retired from crime fighting. Yeah. But learning how Kal El Superman was still in the world, they were trying to find him, and they asked Bruce for help, but Bruce initially just declined it. And yeah, then eventually, then the two berries, he's eventually like located his bat cave, and like I said just a minute ago, yeah, they really did a good job like recreating the bat cave from the Tim Burton films. Like it just was really cool to see this stuff again, and yeah, and you just had like all the Easter eggs, like the bats flying in the bat cave, the classic Batmobile, and just like all that stuff, yeah. So it was really cool just to see like all this stuff again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then after Barry like communicated with Bruce virtually. Eventually, then it convinced Bruce to come back as Batman and help them find Superman. Yeah, and then you just saw like him in the Batman suit again. Like I said, it was the classic Batman suit from the two Tim Burton films, and you even had him saying, "I'm Batman." So yeah, just seeing that just like totally gave me chills. Just that was just so freaking awesome to see Michael Keaton say that again in the Batman suit. Yeah, yeah, and yeah. Then like uh Batman then flew the two berries in like another version of the Batwing, and to try to find in the kind of Superman, and you even they even like used a Danny Elfman's Batman theme. So yeah, so they really just like gave us all the Easter eggs for Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. So yeah, it was just like so cool to see. Yeah, then they eventually were able to locate the a where Superman was supposedly being kept. Yeah, and they find like a Kryptonian pod that was discovered in Siberia, and when they got there, like they actually rather than finding Superman, they found Kara Zor-El, who was of course Supergirl, and yeah, and it was like she told them how she was actually Kal-El's cousin. Yeah, and yeah, and yeah, then as Barry he then asked Bruce and Kara for help. They then agreed to help. So then then as a then Barry realizing that he really has to get his powers back, he asked Bruce to help him doing it by kind of recreating the original accident and having lightning strike him using some of Bruce's technology devices. Yeah, and then as they attempted it, at first it failed, then almost killed Barry. He, uh, Kara then flew Barry up into a lightning storm and had him be struck by lightning, which then ended up reviving his powers. Yeah. Yeah, so then, the two berries, Batman and Supergirl, then all banded together to stop Zod and his forces, and it showed then how young Barry gave Barry the flash suit back, and he made his own homemade flash suit out of one of Bruce's Batman suits, and yeah, it did look pretty ridiculous. Yeah, it just looked so dumb, but it was hilarious to see. Yeah. Then as all four of them went into battle with Zod and his forces, Supergirl learned how Zod intercepted Kal-El's baby pod and killed him in a failed attempt to retrieve the growth codex that he needed to turn Earth into a new Krypton. Yeah. Then in the fight, eventually Zod ended up overpowering and killing Supergirl, and Bruce or Batman also ended up being killed as well in the fight. Yeah, then as the two berries tried to travel back through time to see if they to actually prevent Batman and Supergirl from dying. And, as they went back, it showed how they were killed again, and then as they kept going back, Barry then eventually ended up realizing that no matter what they do, their deaths are pretty much inevitable, and it showed how the younger Barry still kept trying to uh, go back and save them, but yeah, he just like couldn't do it. Yeah, then as he just kept repeatedly going back through time and failing, and it showed how like as he the more he traveled, like it showed like the multiverse was like collapsing in on itself. Yeah, then it just like showed like all these different barriers of the multiverse, and it showed like all bunch of like the different versions of like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all these other like all the other characters. Like it just showed like the different versions of them that we've seen over the years. Like at one point it showed like George Reeves's Superman from the old '50s TV show. We saw Christopher Reeve's Superman. We did see um uh, who else did we see? There was also the Helen Slater's Supergirl from the 1984 series. We saw Adam West's Batman. We saw like Jack Nicholson's Joker from Batman, and then we also did see like Jay Garrick's version of Flash. We did see that alternate version of Superman from like by Nicolas Cage. Like there was like that version of Superman that Kevin Smith created before, but it never like saw the light of day. Yeah, so we just saw like all these different versions of like Batman, Superman, Flash. Yeah, just a whole bunch of versions that we have seen in like movies and TV shows over the many years. Yeah, so that was admittedly like pretty cool to see. Yeah, yeah, but then eventually, then Barry then ended up explaining to young Barry how like they just can't like keep doing it, and it's just inevitable. But eventually, like Barry ended up getting knocked out by the Dark Speedster, who like Barry ended up like being like originally knocked out of the Speed Force, and then he came back, and it was revealed to be like a future version of Barry, and he still felt that like his world could still be saved from Zod, and Bruce and Kara's deaths could be um uh prevented. Yeah, but then like as he was like explaining the casual or causal loop paradox that led to his creation, like Barry then revealed like his intention to reverse his actions and letting his mother die. And then like the Dark Speeder in a rage attempted to kill Barry, but then the young Barry ended up like stepping in the way, sacrificing himself to save Barry. And so then he ended up getting impaled. Then the Dark Speeder ended up being wiped from the timeline. Then with all that, then Barry then just like went back to the point that he like prevented his mother from forgetting the tomatoes, and then he ended up undoing the change. But then it showed how like he ended up like making a small change in the past. Yes, and then it ended up like giving some new evidence in the present and to prove his father's innocence in court. Yeah. And then so then Barry ended up then returning back to the present and helped to exonerate his father. Yeah. Then after court, as Barry was like being interviewed by press, and he ended up being like contacted by Bruce, and then it showed then Bruce then arriving outside the court. But then we truly had a absolute what the fuck moment when in Bruce then appeared. It wasn't actually Ben Affleck. It ended up being George Clooney back as Bruce Wayne, of course, reprising his role from Batman and Robin. So just like seriously, like when I saw that, I was just like, what? Like they really wanted to go all out with this multiverse stuff. So yeah, so George Clooney back as Bruce Wayne, like that was really like totally unexpected. Yeah, and yeah, this ended up like also being the result of one of the of Barry's timeline changes as well. Yeah, and that's how the movie ended. Yeah, so yeah, and then like after the credits, then we had like this scene where like it showed like Barry talking to Arthur about his experiences and traveling through the multiverse. Yeah, and it just showed Arthur just like passing out drunk. Yeah, yeah. So this really was just like a really like awesome movie. Really did like the multiverse concept. It was awesome to see Michael Keaton back as Batman and just like all the old Easter eggs of Batman. The video, like that whole multiverse bit, seeing like all the different versions of like Superman, Batman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Flash, like that was really cool to see. And just yeah, this premise really was just like really great. Like this film really did tell a really great story, and I really did enjoy this film a lot. Like I'm sure like this film really did surpass a lot of people's expectations. So yeah, so what can I really say? This really was just like an awesome movie, and I really did enjoy it a lot. Like I said, I would definitely put this in DC's top 5 films. So yeah, so I would definitely recommend this film. I do think it's worth watching. So yeah, so yeah, so if you, so yeah, so I would definitely say go to the theater and see this film because yeah, this is really just a really awesome film and told a great story. Plus, yeah, just to see Michael Keaton back as Batman because yeah, there are like a lot of younger generations that weren't alive when Michael Keaton originally played Batman, but have seen his movie since. So yeah, if you're one of those people, yeah, you see this, so you'll finally get the chance to see Michael Keaton's Batman on the big screen. Yeah, so yeah, just yeah, that is really just like the like just such a great thing to see Michael Keaton back as Batman. Yeah, and Ezra Miller really did like do a great job in this film as the Flash. Yeah. So yeah, so definitely recommended. So yeah, but the question I ask now is, what does DC plan to do next with Flash? Because DC has said, like, due to Ezra Miller's legal troubles, like they're like actually done with him after this film. So yeah, so what is going to be next for the Flash character? Like, are they just going to write him out of the universe after this film, or are they possibly going to could they possibly bring in a Grant Gustin's Flash from the Flash show to actually take over for Ezra Miller, bring him into this universe? Because yeah, remember that because there was like the episode of the Flash show where it showed Ezra Miller's Flash like face to face with Grant Gustin's Flash. So yeah, so it showed how like they could possibly. So that is a possibility that they could do that. Yeah, I'll have a link to that in the description where you see like a Ezra Miller's Flash appearing face to face with Grant Gustin in the episode of the show. I'll have that in the description if you want to see that. Yeah, I mean, are they going to do something with that? Like, could that possibly be a factor in them? Could they could possibly bring in Grant Gustin to take over for Ezra Miller, or will we possibly get something else? Like, will they get like one of the other Flashes back to? And will they bring in another Flash to take over for Barry Allen? Like, will they have like Wally West come in and he'll be the Flash going forward. So yeah, so there's just like a lot of possibilities that could happen with as far as a Flash's future in the DC extended universe is concerned. Now with like Ezra Miller being done, like DC being done with Ezra Miller. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens next with Flash in this universe. But yeah, like I said, really did enjoy this film a lot. This was just like such an awesome film, and yeah, definitely recommended. All right. So yeah. So I guess this is all I can really say about it. All right. So this is my thoughts on the Flash movie. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about this movie. Yeah, and I do highly recommend it. All right. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about this film. Yeah. But yeah, before I actually do end these reviews of the DC Extended Universe, I still do have one more film to talk about because, as I said in my Justice League review, like after I got through like talking about all the films, I would talk about Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. So yeah, so now that I have gotten through all the DC Extended Universe films, now I can go and talk about that film. So yeah, so I'm gonna give Zack Snyder's Justice League a watch, and then I will make a video talking about how I feel about that version. All right, so stay tuned for that coming up next. All right, but I hope you guys did enjoy this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.